Okay. Hi everyone. Welcome to another session. In this session, we are going to create the remaining APIs for CRUD operation for courses entity. So far, we have created one create API, one get all API. Now we are going to create one more, that is get by ID API. Okay. So get by ID API is basically the API which will provide you the detailed information about the current record if you pass the ID. Okay, so you can see in our database we are having around 12 records. I want only second record, let's say. Okay, so this second record you will get if you pass the ID as a parameter. Okay, so basically in the same controller I will create one more API here, and here I will mark it as a get by ID. Okay, and we will have one request object, data object for that, like this, get by ID request, and in that we will have only one parameter, that is nothing but our ID of your selected record. So just visualize why we need this API. You can just visualize that. So in your .NET Core UI, let's say there is one grid. Okay, grid means data table. Okay, so we are having one table in the UI. In that UI, in that table, by using the getAll API, what we did, we have displayed list of all courses in the grid like this. Okay, in that grid we are having one more column here, and in that column we are having view or details button. If I click on that detail button, then it will basically open the one pop-up, and in that pop-up we will display all details about the current entity. That is one requirement. Second requirement is there is one edit button also. For each and every row there is a edit button in the grid. If I click on that edit button, then basically what it will do, it will first of all load the existing values for selected entities from the database, and will fill up the or populate those values into your form, because you are going to edit the record. If you are going to edit the record, it means you should have the previously entered values available in the form, so you can modify them and click on the update button. So in order to pre-populate the existing values, you will require the get by ID API. Okay, got it. Now let's create the API. We have created one API. This is the request payload, which will be your ID parameter, and then get by ID, get by ID request. Okay, so this was our name. It got resolved, and in the courses API only we will add one more line item. Sorry, one more API here. That is your get by ID. It will require one parameter, get by ID request. Okay, it will return one response. What will be the response now? List of courses? No, right? It will only return only one course detail. So in that case, I will create one more response, that is your get by ID response. In this, we'll rename the class name first, and this should not be list of courses. This is only one course this time, so that's why I removed list, and only only one record for course, along with success and message parameters. So that's why this, and then go back to your interface and add here get by ID response. Got it? So far we have completed this layer, interface. Now I wanted to create the implementation. Okay, so let's implement that API in the service. We're having get all. Let's make a copy, mark it as a get by ID, like this. Okay, this is the signature. So let's copy that whole signature to avoid spelling mistake. And then here we wanted to return get by ID response. So that's why that object. And then in the course repository, we definitely require one more method for get by ID. So I will just add that. Okay. In this, I will send the ID request. It will return me the course object. Got it? I need so we have completed the interface, this interface as well. I wanted to create the class for this. Okay, so go into the implementation of the repository. Here we will actually make the database query. Okay, in the database query, let's copy the method signature again to avoid spelling mistake. Paste it here. Okay, now what will the database query? It is very simple. Okay, table courses dot find. That's it. Find method will get you the record by their ID. Request dot ID. Okay, that's it. You got course record. Okay, TBL courses find async. Now you got course record. Return that. Call this one from the service. It will return you one course. You will return that as a response. We are good. Build that project. Done. There is one error. What is the error? From the controller, we are not calling GetById. We need to call that, right? GetById along with this request. Now we are good. This should not be post this time because we wanted to send ID from URL, right? From query string parameter. So it will be from query GetById, and that ID we will pass here as a slash. Okay, let's run it now. Okay, now you can see there is one more API is available. Post, this is get. So this get API requires one query string parameter. Okay, that is called as ID. So let's copy this course in the postman. This is my postman. I will make the duplicate tab here, and then I will call get by ID. What I want course. So that's a course get by ID. It should be get, and ID I will send as a query string parameter 2. It means there is nothing, no body payload here. And now let's call this API. You got 404 not found. Why? Let's see. Because we are having get by ID slash ID from query string parameter. Everything is correct. Why it is not working then? So course get by ID, right? Get by ID. So let me try again. Okay, so let's try to make a call from the Swagger first. Get by ID, try it out. ID is 2, execute. Okay, it is working, but they have sent the ID like this. Okay, we need to send ID is equal to 2 because this is query string parameter, not part of your URL. Why? Because I have mentioned explicitly from query string parameter, not from the URL. Okay, so that's the reason. So here also you will get the record now. You can see I sent 2, it returned me the Java development course. Is it correct? Let's see the database. Second record is your Java development. I want .NET full stack. So what I will do, I will send 1 as a parameter, send, it will return you the .NET full stack. Okay, so this is how we can create the GetById web API for any entity. You can just change the data table for your entity, create these many API. Okay, we'll see update API and delete API in the next session.